Is that thing on now? All right, come on, hurry up. You just never know when you're going to spot one of these things. Come on. There's one around here somewhere. I can taste it. Oh, there. Do you see him? Right there. Yeah, there he goes. Let's follow him. You have to be careful with these things. They're rare and easily scared in these parts. A hunt like this requires constant vigilance. I think he went in here. This is it. It's time to make our move. We've got him cornered. There's nowhere left to run. Cod a shop?
It's Kopane.
Language Hunters is a non-profit organization that supports communities revitalizing their own languages on their own terms, keeping their own heritage alive.
Ni ha ni spoonog e is Kopane e. Kuma.
Language hunting is both a game and a skill. So basically, through language hunting, I sit down with a fluent speaker in another language and I dive right into the language, pairing gestures with elicited language. You start with a very simple question, what is that? And you, whatever the language, however that particular language asks that. And you keep playing and you keep going. You go through all those questions of journalism, the who, what, when, where, why, how many. And once you can ask or answer all those questions, you go even deeper.
Start. Emil. Targi shot. Sikshi için. Abi sikshi için shot. Kadesha is cabin. Is cabin. Is cabin. Cabin.
I've worked with other educators who saw this connection between sign language and spoken language. The big one that we draw on is from Signed Exact English, which is a methodology and a system of hand signs for teaching hard of hearing and deaf kids to speak English. And so by using these signs that are developed for someone to learn a spoken language and mapping those onto whatever language we're happening to hunt, you can find routes around all kinds of issues.
We don't have to use English to describe what this is, because we know this is a coupon, right? Well, when you make these gestures and you say things like is coupon a, ta and coupon long, you can tell, right? And it makes pathways in your brain, right? We use what's called mirror neurons. What's a mirror?
Something you see yourself with.
Right, so like if you see yourself making this sign and saying it in a different language, it makes a stronger connection than trying to go through the medium of English to understand, oh, that's a cup, right? So you're basically making it easier for you to learn language without actually ever using English. And it creates accelerated learning, right? So we can learn a lot more faster without having to use English. A Wilma Kupan Fowlov A will machopon foul Ta. Oh, how fascinating. Ta.
We're learning about Irish and learning a bit more about how to speak it.
It's kind of like he does it a few times and then you pick it up.
So you start at the beginning, and then everyone, it's pretty amazing, everyone just falls into sync. It really is kind of like Avatar, when they're around the mother tree and everyone just like... And that's the scary part. I think that a lot of people, they're like, this is really cultic. But no, there's something innate in us to follow pattern, to follow cadence. So we follow cadence, and then before you know it, you're up before you left off, and it only took you 5 minutes to get around everyone, and they're like, oh yes, I remember this, I remember that, that's great, you know? Really vindicated the work that we've been doing to see that after just 10 hours of gameplay, and not even concerted focused gameplay. There are a lot of things that go on when people come and gather at my house. They've come from work, from school, they have conversations, they socialize. But after 10 hours, they basically have gotten to the level of being able to trade in a language. Just 10 hours. As one of my students said, it's freaky. Scary.
Awesome.
Yeah.
If we're losing on average one language every 14 days, as some linguists say, and we'll lose half of the world's 7,000 languages by mid-century, who's to say someday that English won't be among those languages? Yeah. And along with that goes the loss of sovereignty, is a loss of social health. There's also more and more research coming out now that shows that languages really are separate thought systems. They're entirely different toolkits, paradigms, worldviews of solving problems, of approaching social problems, scientific problems. So you lose a language, you lose a whole system that's been tooled and innovated and performed over generations, millennia. That's a massive loss. It's a loss scientifically, it's a loss culturally, it's a loss socially. And actually, in a lot of ways, language hunting is a way to give ownership of this people's art, this people's performance art, back to the people, and turning to them for expertise on the language, turning to them for expertise on poetry, on creating song, on oral tradition, on storytelling. Right now there's this just a massive bias towards institutions as sources of expertise and authority, when a language, more than any other folk art, or maybe as much as any other folk art, belongs to the people.
Yes, Jess of a Gimmert on Clicky Shop. Slanted.